Hey guys, Herc here, and I just wanted to shoot this video to talk about how to do like the very first initial research to find out whether a niche that you're going after is possibly worth looking into further and anything. So there's a lot of ways you can generate ideas. You can look up niches online that are popular. You can look up, go onto like Yellow Pages or Yelp or any of these service sites and see what businesses or what services each business is offering. You're looking for something that's obviously an expensive service so that you can justify the price of your site. You're looking for something with a lot of traffic, a low amount of competition, and with obviously a domain name available. So I kind of wanted to just kind of go over a quick way that I do that. And how this came about was last night I was talking with some friends, and I live in the city of Edmonton normally, and he was telling me about how a lot of his friends have recently gotten very busy doing spray foam insulation for houses, and how it's kind of replacing the old fiberglass insulations and the other types of insulations. And more often than not, it's people that have a little bit of extra money that are doing this sort of insulation. It's more expensive than traditional means, but it's also more cost effective and more it's just a better replacement. Even though it's more expensive, your long term is better. So it seemed like it was a bit of an emerging market and an expensive service that people are starting to turn towards, especially the more affluent type of people. So I thought, I'm going to go look this up, and decided I'd shoot a video for you guys to show you how this whole thing works. So what I basically did before I ever register a domain or get started on work is I just want to do a quick peek at the numbers. So what I did is I typed in spray foam installer Edmonton, and then I clicked on get ideas. And the other thing I did is the keywords to include. I made sure that I typed in my city so that I'm only really dealing with keywords that have the word Edmonton in them, since that's the market I'm going into. And my keyword spray foam installer Edmonton didn't come up with many searches at all, but when I scrolled through the list, I found the very first one that popped up, spray foam insulation Edmonton. That's exactly the market that I was going into. I worded it wrong, but Google showed me that there's 320 searches per month for this particular keyword. Now, that's really good. What this means is basically if you were to rank a website on the first page of Google, and particularly on the #1 spot on that first page, that you could get about half this traffic to your website. So that's around 160 searches a month that you could get into your website. Now, if somebody was getting 160 searches a month and they were able to convert about 20% of those visits into phone calls, you're looking at about 160 times 20% is basically just over 30 phone calls per month, one a day, including weekends, which is a really good number, because the service is, once again, remember, it's expensive. So if you're renting out a site and the guy's getting 20 phone calls a month or 30 phone calls a month, and he's booking 25% to half those phone calls as jobs, he's going to be making a lot of money, and you can justify getting a rental rate of around $1,500 to $2,000 per month for that site. So one of the things I also want to go over is basically the average monthly searches. So we have it as 320, but that's average over the year. If I look at the graph over the past year, I can see that in the slowest months, probably the winter months, it's down to 210 searches a month. But that's still okay. That's still 100 visits at a page one or a #1 ranking. And then if you're converting 20% of visits into phone calls, it's still 20 phone calls a month, which on the low end is still really good. And a business would be extremely happy to have their phone ringing in what are considered the slower months, and you'd be able to provide that for them. But up in the summer months or the more busy seasons, you can see it's up to 500 searches, which is just absolutely a knockout market. It's just amazing. So that's how you can look at the average monthly searches. Competition column, basically a lot of people confuse this with how easy or hard it is to rank. So if they see competition is high, they think, oh, I can't rank that because the competition is high. But it's not a ranking competition. What it is it's in the amount of people that are buying AdWords. So if there's a lot of people buying AdWords ads for this keyword, the competition is going to be high. If there's not a lot of people buying ads, that means the competition is low. And what you can use this data to find out is Obviously, if the competition is high, that means a lot of people are bidding on this keyword. That means there's a lot of companies that exist that are willing to spend money on this keyword to get ranked in Google in AdWords, which means that obviously if you can get a natural listing and you can sell them the same service at a cheaper price, you're going to be in a really good position to sell your site. So you definitely want to see a high competition here. That's going to help out your market. The other thing is the suggested bid. Of course, I'm looking in Canadian, so this is serving in Canadian dollars. You can see it's almost $9 per click. What that means is that these companies, these many companies, because the AdWords competition is high, so a lot of these companies are willing to spend $9 per click to get a click from this keyword. So you can tell that this is obviously a keyword and a market that people are already spending money in. So once again, that's another indicator that this is a really profitable market to get into with a lot of people that are spending money in the market. So you're kind of covering all your bases with that. So the other thing you can see is there's other keywords like spray foam Edmonton, Edmonton spray foam insulation, and Edmonton spray foam that are also having pretty good search volume. And we're going to definitely, with Project Supremacy, be able to target all 4 of these keywords because you're going to start adding them up. 320, 110, and then another 10. So that's 320, 430, and then another 110 is 440, I guess. That's a lot of search volume for people that are spending a lot of money. So if you can rank for all 4 of these keywords, you're going to have an extremely valuable property that you can go out and start contacting people to rent. So I'm going to shoot this video series. I'm going to actually build this website and shoot a video series to show you guys how I do everything step by step with this website all the way to the point of selling this thing. So that last video of selling it might come a little while later, just because sometimes it does take a little bit of time to rank and then of course a little bit of time to sell. But when it happens, I will shoot the video and show you guys what's happening. The other thing I want to kind of show you guys is the date and time, so you know exactly when things are happening. And I'm just going to Google that so you can see that it's a real date and time. And you can see it's 11:32 a.m. on Wednesday, December 16th, 2015. That's when I'm researching this keyword. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to basically do a competition analysis on these keywords, just to make sure that it really is a good keyword and that it really is easy to rank for. That's what we're looking for. A keyword with a lot of search volume, a keyword with a high cost of service. You know, it's got a great market with a lot of people paying a lot of money. So now we just want to know, are the domains available and is it a low competition keyword? So I'm going to shoot that video next and we will see you in that one. All right, talk to you soon. Hey guys, so in this video we're going to go over how to analyze your ranking competition for this amazing keyword set that we've found. So what you can do is open up any other website that has Project Supremacy installed on it, and we've been using this Atlanta Doula for a lot of example sites. So we're going to start here. So before you register a domain, obviously you want to know that the keyword is going to be you know, at least on the easy side to rank and that it's profitable. And you don't have to go spend any money until you know all these metrics. And so in order to do that, we're going to use an Atlanta Doula, one of our existing sites, to just do quick initial research on these keywords. So what we're going to do is add a new project, and we'll call it Spray Foam Edmonton, and then we'll just call it research, so we know that we're actually researching a keyword. And we'll go ahead and add that project. And then one thing you can do is you'll notice that we open up our projects with 4 blank basically page groups in them, and what we're going to do is we're just going to insert our keywords from here. We're just going to copy and paste them in to our tool, and I'm going to grab this one. And there's just these 4 I was pretty interested in, and remember, we're not doing an expansive research. We've already found a keyword that we think is pretty good, so we just want to see, you know, the basics of how easy or hard these keywords are going to be. So I'm just going to pop those in there, and then I am going to select those 4, and I can also delete this blank one if I want. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get that keyword data. And what this is going to tell us is this is going to tell us the broad match competition, the phrase match competition, the in title competition, and the in URL competition for each of these keywords, which is going to give us, you know, a really good idea on how easy or hard it will be to rank. And then we'll also take a look at the top page, the first 10 rankings on Google, and I'll show you some things that I'm looking for there while I'm doing my competition analysis. So right away you can see some pretty amazing things here. You can see that we have green across the board for every keyword. Our broad matches are less than 100,000 for all the keywords, which is great. Our phrase match is really, really low. It's under 2,000 on the top end. This is our main keyword. And then our in title and our in URL are really, really low. So this means to me that because it's all green, and it's not even just in the green, it's well below the green, that these keywords, you could build a website, and if you just do your on-page optimization properly and you use the schema and the geotag images, that you're going to pop into a really, really good position when you first get indexed without building any PBN links or doing anything like that. You can see that these keywords are showing as extremely easy to go after. So now what we have is a very, very profitable market with lots of traffic, lots of people willing to spend money to get top placements in Google, and it's easy to rank for. So this is definitely something that we want to go after. So the next step, of course, is just seeing if the EMD is available. So we're going to take our top keyword and we're going to go to name.com, and of course I've already kind of went ahead of myself because I knew it was a really good keyword, and I did a search for it, and the .com was gone, but the .net and the .org were available. So I went ahead and I purchased the .net. Now once again, I'm going to show you the date and time so that you can see the timeline of how we're doing things and how fast this can be. So you can see the date and time is 11:37 a.m. on December 16th, and that's when I ordered this. I just ordered this this domain. So we're definitely going to build this site. So in the next video, we're going to start going over how I set things up, how I organize myself, so that, you know, if you're building a lot of sites, it's very, very easy to keep organized, and what you need to do in order to set up this domain quickly and easily, so that you can get really fast rankings, so that hopefully you can rent it out and make money. So I will see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, Herc here again, and one thing in the last video that I didn't manage to go over was actually doing the competition analysis on the first page of Google. So that is something that I'm shooting this video for. So all we do is we take our main keyword and we pop it into Google, and the first thing we can see is that we have 33,500 results for the broad match of the keyword, which is actually really, really great. Typically we want to be under 100,000 if you want really low-hanging, easy fruit. We already know that from the Project Supremacy project that we did. You can see here we have that same number, 33,500, and it is in the green, but it's just kind of a confirmation as well when we do it on the front page. So the first thing we're going to look at is we can see that we already have the 3-pack here. This is the Google local businesses thing, and I get a lot of questions about, you know, how do we rank in the 3-pack, and do I need to start building citations? And the answer to that is no. You need to make this more simple, not more complicated. 3-pack rankings are for businesses that have addresses, and because we're building a rank and rent, we're not going to have an address, but that doesn't mean we can't rank above it. We absolutely can, and I've done it before. But there's a bonus in this, is that once we sell our site, once we rank it and get that #1 position and we rent it out to a company, now we have an address that we can use. We can build out a Google profile that we own. We can use their address, and then we can offer this position to them as a second listing in Google, and you can upsell them on that. Once they're already happy with a natural result listing, you can easily say to them, listen, if you guys are willing to spend another $1,000 or $1,500 a month and you're happy with what I'm giving you, I can get you a second position in the Google Maps. And that's when you would add a Google Plus page with their business information. But I'll show you the way that you'll still be in control of that, so that if your client ever leaves you, that's okay. You'll still have control of the property, and you'll be able to change the business name to your new clients. So moving on, next thing we're going to do is look at the top 10 and see what we see in here. You see a company, Spray Tech, another Spray Solutions. So these are real companies going. We see a Better Business Bureau listing. We see another company, a company, another company, a Qzx ad, and another Qzx ad. So what the three things that I'm seeing right now that tell me that I can definitely get on the first page is that a Qzx ad there's two Qzx ads, and then there's a Better Business Bureau listing. And I can guarantee you guys that these guys aren't ranking because they're having SEO done. They're ranking because they have a decent domain authority and they have the title and the URL. You can see them kind of bolded out. That's how those are getting in there. So we're going to absolutely easily be able to build a site that has better page authority than these and a competitive domain authority. All these other listings are companies. So if you really wanted to know, you could download the Moz toolbar, and I'm going to turn that on right now. We can see what kind of page authority and domain authority we're looking at in order to rank. So here you go. You can see a page authority of 21 with a domain authority of 14 has got the top spot. And these are easy numbers to hit. You can hit these numbers with 3 to 4 links. And then when we couple the fact that we're going to add schema markup, we're going to add geotagged images, we're going to have perfect on-page optimization, we're going to have good titles, we're going to have good URLs, and we're going to have good descriptions. When you package all that up, you're absolutely killing everybody else that's on the first page. So these are the kinds of things that we look at on the first page, and it's just once again more confirmation that we've actually really stumbled upon a great keyword that we can build a site for. So that's it for this video. In the next one, we're going to start building out our site. Hey everyone, so in this video what we're going to go over, now that we have the keyword, all the research done, and we actually registered the domain name, now we're going to go over the initial steps to getting yourself organized really well, so that once you're to the point where you're building 5 or 10 or even 15 or 20 rank and rent sites, you have a system in place to be extremely organized, so that you know where all your domains are registered at, you know where they're all hosted at, you know your logins for all your important things like that. So I think it's very, very important to set yourself up to be organized so that you can be very effective when you're working. So what I basically do is I have a template folder, and I'm going to open that for you here to show you what's in it. On my desktop. So you can see there's a folder that I have on my desktop right here called sprayfoaminsulationedmonton.net, which is the new site that we're going after. But normally what I have is just a template folder called templatewebsite.com, and then when I do register a domain, I make a copy of it and rename it to the domain that I have. And you can see that there's a few folders and files in here, and I'll go over each one of them. The articles folder is where I kind of used to put my articles when I would order stuff from I Need Articles or iWriter. I would put everything into here so that I knew where everything was. Of course, now with the improvements on Project Supremacy version 2, because you can order your articles from within your site, you might not need your website articles because you'll have them stored within your website. Your backlink articles for when you're building PBN posts, you may still want to store here, but once again, with Project Supremacy version 2 being such a good plugin, if you install it on your PBN sites, you can actually order your articles right from within your PBN. So this folder may not be necessary anymore, but I'm just going to leave it for those who like to have their own articles stored. I have an images folder for any of the images that I need to upload to my sites. Once again, Project Supremacy's kind of eliminating my old way of doing things. You can upload images right from within your site now using Pixabay and geotag them, and you can also use the Media Bay to use your own images and then geotag them, but I do have a folder for storing images in case you need it. The next one I want to go over is actually this logins one. I'm going to open this up for you and show you what this is. Let me just minimize this down for you. You can see, so this is going to be all my passwords, username, registrar information, web host information, cPanel, stuff like that, and then even a fake name profile, and I'll show you why this is important. This becomes really useful when, like say, 2 months down the road, you need to find out what your cPanel username was for your spray foam insulation folder. Well, if you have a folder on your desktop that's called My Websites, and you just go in there, open up spray foam insulation, you can access this file, and you have all your information right here. So it makes things really, really fast. I even go as far as putting name servers in there. So I'm actually going to update this right now with the information that we have so you can see what I'm doing. Insulation Edmonton.net, and we already know that our registrar is name.com, so we know where to find that domain if we need to change anything. So the next step we're going to have to do is obviously set up web hosting so that we can input our name servers. So I can close this now, and it's going to save it. And I'm going to send you guys a blank one of these so that you can have it. The affiliate offers is something that I used to do manually as well, but once again, Project Supremacy has new affiliate research features. But if I'm browsing the internet and I'm building maybe an affiliate site, or if I'm building, you know, even a local lead gen site where I see a nice affiliate offer that I can put on that site before I rent it out, if I want to send some affiliate traffic to like maybe like a spray foam Amazon thing, I can do that. I can post affiliate offers in here. But of course, Project Supremacy does that again. Notes are just notes for the account. And then these files are for when I build social accounts. I want access to all my social accounts really quickly, and I use I have SendWire. I had OnlyWire. I don't really use that anymore. I'm going to shrink this down for you again. You can see I have a Gmail account, my password, backup password. I have all this stuff, username 1 and 2. So I can basically just send this to a VA. They can go and create all these social profiles for me, and we use these as tier 2 bookmarks. So if you want to get really crazy about things, that's there for you, and I have it for that purpose. So I'll send this to you guys in a download file beneath the video, and you can definitely use this to keep yourself organized. I do it all the time, and it's a huge time saver for me when I'm super organized. Hey guys, Herc here, and now we are on to the setting up the hosting. So there is a very specific process that I use when I'm setting up my sites in order to have things move along quickly. Things like setting up the hosting, and then you know, you got to set up the hosting first. Then you're going to point your domain name server so that you have quick access to your website, so that it doesn't need to resolve around the world. Setting up, you know, your Gmail accounts, your email addresses. So I'm going to go over all those things for you. My favorite host for use with Project Supremacy is HostGator. The reason why is I can buy a shared hosting plan, and usually with those plans I'll host up to 3 domains on them before I start buying a new plan and adding another 3 hosts. It saves me a lot of money. Also, HostGator works really well with Project Supremacy. We do encrypt our Project Supremacy plugin files, and we use a software called IonCube to encrypt our files. So HostGator has the necessary plugin to decrypt our files called IonCube. Some hosts don't have that, so if you install Project Supremacy and you get a PHP error that says something about IonCube in it, what it means is that your host doesn't have IonCube installed and it's unable to unencrypt the files. So we're gonna provide you guys with a list of hosts that are, you know, really affordable hosts that work really well and have IonCube installed on them. But if you do run into the issue where you're using one of your own hosts that doesn't have IonCube, you kind of have 2 ways you can fix that. You can send a support ticket to your host and ask them to install IonCube. Some will and some won't. And the other option is just to use our list of approved hosts so that you know that you're getting stuff done the right way the first time. So I already have a hosting account with 2 sites on it, so all I'm going to do inside of that HostGator account is do an add-on domain. So all I'll do is click on the add-on domains here, and we are going to put a new domain in, and I'm going to open up my folder to grab that domain, and you can see I have my logins. So I'm going to grab my domain name, put that in there, but I'm going to put lower cases in, obviously. I just do that for my title. I have capitals, but when you're installing or putting in the domain name, you want to use lowercase. And we're going to need a subdomain, so I'm going to just use spray foam EDM, I guess short for Edmonton. And I'll use a password generator to create a password for me, and of course I'm blocking out certain sensitive information from you guys. And one thing I'm going to do right away is, since I know who I'm using for my host, I'm going to start filling in my sheet. So my web host I know is HostGator, and this is my password that I just chose, so I'm going to use that. And then of course I'm going to click on use password. Oh yeah, I've copied my password, little security measure they have, and then this is going to be my username. So I'm going to want that in there as well. There we go. So now I have my web host information with my username and my password. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on add domain. And once that domain is added, the next step I can take is to create basically an email address for this account. So this is going to be used to help us set up our Gmail account, so you're going to want to do this right away. And we're going to click on the new thing. And I'm going to do our spray foam installation Edmonton as our domain. And the email, we can use anything here. I can use like bookings or contact or admin or info. So I'm just going to use info. And then as far as password, I'm actually just going to stick with the same password that I've been using for my email address. I'm going to confirm that password, and I'm going to create an unlimited account. And then once again, so you can see account created, I'm going to fill in that information. So I already have my email address, and that is info@sprayfoaminstallation.edmonton.com, and I already have my password, so I'm going to just pop that in there as well. And save that data. And once that's set up, the next step is we're going to actually now point our domain to this account. So I'm going to go back into name.com. You can still see I'm still on the order screen, so I might have to log in again here because it's been a few minutes because I'm recording videos. So I'm going to log in. And I am going to search for my spray foam site because I have quite a few domains. And here they are. And now what I'm going to do is set up my name servers. So we can delete all the default ones, and then I need my new ones, and I can grab that right from my HostGator account. Typically, if you're using another account, when you set up the account, they'll send you an email and tell you what the name servers are. So just grab those from your email. So I'm using 7 and 8 as my name servers. So I'm going to pop that in. And then I'm going to pop the next one in. I'm going to add that one. And then I'm going to apply my changes. And one thing I like to do as well is just go back to the details of the domain. And then I like to refresh the page just to make sure that the name server updates did take place. And you can see that they did. So that is all I need to do with my register. I have my name servers updated. And if I want to update it over here, I can do my name server updates. So I have NS84 and the other numbers. So there's my two name servers. So we can we can save that again. And now you're done inside of there. So the next step that we are going to do, now that your hosting is set up, is we're going to install WordPress. So the next step we're going to take is actually installing WordPress, but before we do that, we're actually going to need to create our persona so that we can set up the proper name for the person in WordPress. And you can just see, I'll open up my logins form again. You can see down here we need a fake name profile. And so what I'm going to do is I just go to Google and type in fake name generator and click on this, and this is going to give me, I always use these guys, I find them really, really good. So gender, I'm going to select a male. Name set is American, that's fine. The country I'm actually going to go to regional, so I'm going to click advanced options. And I'm going to switch to region because I want to put this user, I want to create an address right in the place that we are. So like I'm using Edmonton, so I'm going to use Alberta. And then male, of course, I want to be set to 100%. And then age, I want to kind of have a guy that's probably likely to be the age of a person who would own a spray foam insulation company. So I'm going to just go 30 to 40 years old. That's usually pretty safe. And I'm going to generate a new name. And you can see we have Robert Delgado in Edmonton, and that works perfect for me. I'm not going to be too picky with that. So I'll just kind of have it here. So name, we're going to type in Robert Delgado. And our date of birth is going to be, you can see, February 4th, 1980. And I'm going to make him a little bit older than that. I'm going to give him 1977, so he's just near 30. And then location, of course, because this is an Edmonton site, we're going to do Edmonton, Alberta as location. So that's all we need from there, is we just need this information figured out. So I can close that. And now we can go install our WordPress. So with HostGator, they have the one-step installs. So I'm just going to use the quick install. And I'm going to click on WordPress. And we're going to do a new install. Now, because this is an add-on account, we do have to select the correct domain. We're going to install it on the root path. The admin email is going to be the email that we set up when we were setting up our account. So I'm just going to copy that. Blog title is going to be just the EMD keyword that we're going after. So spray foam insulation Edmonton, and we can work on with that blog title later. Admin username, we can use the same username from a cPanel. This isn't too important. Just I wouldn't make it admin. I'd make it something a little more, you know, unique. But then the first name and the last name is where we needed that fake name profile. So first name Robert and last name is Delgado. So this is the first step that we're doing in creating our persona for the blog. So once that's all done, I'm going to go ahead and install WordPress. And no, I don't need a theme or anything, so I can just close all this. And my install is complete, so here is my credentials. So right away I'm going to copy these over to my folder, as you've been seeing me do. So here's my WordPress, and then my username I've chosen, and my password they defined for me, so I'm going to copy that, and then you can see that's filled out. So you can see this sheet is already starting to fill itself out with all the proper information for our logins for each area. One thing I did wrong on the initial video is I actually put in the cPanel information as the web host, but the web host, because I'm using an add-on domain, is actually the root domain that I'm using, and the cPanel is the add-on domain that I'm using. So I actually corrected that now. So once our WordPress is installed, if we did things in the order that I showed you, you should be able to immediately have access to your domain by clicking on this. And as you can see, instead of getting, you know, that waiting area, we're right into our WordPress installation, which is great. It's super fast. So like it's only, if I know you're watching these videos, so it's a little slower, but this process from the point where you find your keyword to setting up your hosting and changing your name servers and your email addresses should only take you a few minutes, and you'll have immediate access to your WordPress site if you did it in that order. Do not try and access your domain before your name servers are set up. Otherwise, you'll cache yourself to a place that doesn't exist yet, and then you'll have to wait until the DNS kind of propagates around the world. So do it in the order I showed you. You'll have immediate access to WordPress. So that's it for installing WordPress. In the next video, we're actually going to set up a Gmail account now, and I'm going to show you how to get around the phone number issue, the phone verified issue. And then once we're done that, we'll come back and shoot videos to show you how we're going to set up WordPress a really fast and easy way. So see you in the next videos. Hey guys, so in this video we are going to do the next step of setting up a Gmail address that's going to be related to the fake persona that we used. And I know that a lot of times you know, you get the phone number verification and you want to bypass that. So there's a couple tricks I use. If I'm in a current location, like for instance, right now I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, but the user that I want to set up is, his fake name profile is set up to be in Edmonton, Alberta, which is in Canada. So there's kind of a cross-border situation there that I want to avoid with Google. But if I was doing Spray Foam Phoenix, I could do this process without logging on to any sort of VPN or anything. But because I'm using a Canadian user, I'm going to actually sign into a Canadian IP address. And for that, I use HMA, like Hide My Ass Pro VPN. And you can see here, I can log into different countries' IPs. So I'm going to connect to a VPN in Canada so that my internet connection is from Canada, and the Gmail user that I'm creating is also going to be from Canada. And this is something that I do to help me avoid any sort of, phone verifications with Google, as well as the email address I created. So I'll show you that. So I am logged in. You can see connected. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to close my browser, and or I'm actually going to use a new browser that's a clean, fresh install. Not an install, but just an instance. So I'm going to pull that into this screen over here, and then I'm going to go ahead and log into Gmail from this one. And I'll just resize my screen a bit. There we go. So I'm going to go over to Gmail now that I'm accessing the internet from a good old Canadian address. What I'm going to do is click on create an account. And then I'm going to use our fake name information. So we have Robert Delgado and Edmonton, Alberta. And I have to create a username. So I've kind of already set myself up for what I want to use. You can see I'm going to use sprayfoamyeg@gmail.com, and YEG is just the airport code for Edmonton. So I'm going to grab that information and pop it in here. The other thing you can do is use a Robert Delgado to make it look like a little more, like a real person. So I could do like Robert Delgado spray foam. What did I have for my account? Let's change it up to use it. So I had spray foam insulation Edmonton. So I'm going to just use Robert Delgado spray foam insulation Edmonton, SPIE. Or even Robert Delgado YEG, that's Robert Delgado Edmonton. Maybe I'll just go with that. Let's just change that up. So I'm going to change that there. So there you go, Robert Delgado YEG. Password, I am going to use a new unique password. So whatever you choose, just double confirm it. I have to update what I've chosen here. Okay. And then our birthday, we're going to make it February 4th. We can even change it up a little bit. You can change it to February 15th in 1978. Make sure you have everything updated. So now I'm going February 15th, 1978. And then gender, I am a male. Your current email address, you're going to want to use the backup email address that you created when you set up your hosting account. And this is one of the things that's going to help you avoid the phone call verification. We're going to type in the verification text. Our location I'm setting to Canada because my service that I'm offering and my rank and rent that I'm building is going to be Canadian. And then I'm going to agree to the Google terms of privacy policy and then go ahead and create this email. And you can see no problem, I was able to successfully bypass the phone number verification, which is the really tough thing to do a lot of times with Google. But all you have to do basically that I found to bypass that is line up the user that you're using with where you kind of actually are. So for instance, like I said, I am in Phoenix, but I need the user to be from Canada. So in order to get around that, I load up Hide My Ass VPN, I log in from a Canadian IP, and then I also, as a second measure of protection, I give them a backup email address right away. So all the things are lining up in their eyes. It's a Canadian guy logging in from a Canadian IP address and creating a new user that's going to be in Canada, and I also gave them a backup email address. So that's enough information for them that they don't want the phone number verification, which is what we definitely want to avoid. If I don't have to use the VPN, the only reason I use the VPN is because I'm in Phoenix, but I'm creating a Canadian address or a Canadian account. If I was creating something like Spray Foam Phoenix, I wouldn't even have to use a VPN because my IP is already Phoenix. So hopefully you guys understand that situation and how to get around it. If you're creating a user in a different country, just use a VPN like Hide My Ass to log in from a Canadian IP address. So that's it for that. The final kind of tidying up that we have to do is actually going back into our cPanel and forwarding our backup address to our Gmail address. So I'm just going to get back into our cPanel here for spray foam insulation. And I'm going to log in here. And I'm going to go to my email addresses. I'm going to create a forwarder. Because from now on, everything we're going to do is going to be related to our Gmail address. When we create social accounts, when we create anything like that, we're going to use our Gmail address, not the other address. We just created this address in order to have one to give to Google so that we could avoid the phone. So now this is kind of unnecessary. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a forwarder, and you can see I've already done it with my other sites. I always do this. So we're going to forward our email. So we used info. Make sure you type that in correctly so that it works. And we are going to forward to our new email address, or our new Gmail address. And this is the only thing we have this email address set up on right now is WordPress. So any WordPress updates or anything like that are going to send to info@sprayfoam. But because we're setting up the forwarder, it's all going to go to your Gmail account. So that's the last little bit of housekeeping. So now what we have is we have our keyword, we have a good market, we have our hosting set up, we have our domain name servers pointed correctly. We have a backup email address set up, we have a fake name profile, and now we even have a Gmail account associated. So we're perfectly set up now to go out there and create an actual business with a fake persona that we can rank for and then rent it out later on. So that's it for this video. In the next one, we're going to start setting up WordPress and building our sites using Project Supremacy. So I will see you. Hey guys, so in this video we are on now to setting up our WordPress account. So just going to open up my file here and grab my WordPress username and password that we set up already. And just enter our WordPress site. Okay, so we are in. With HostGator, it does come with a couple plugins that we don't want to use, but I'm going to show you guys my process for actually setting these up really quickly, like setting up your entire WordPress site with just a few clicks. And the first plugin that I use to do that is a really nifty plugin that I found called WP Fresh Start. And I'm going to show you that process of how I use that, and it's I think you guys are going to like this. It's pretty fast, and the plugin is actually fairly inexpensive as well to purchase. So I'll give you guys a link to this plugin below. So I go to my plugins folder, and there it is, WP Fresh Start, and I'll open that and install it. And then I'm also going to have to activate that plugin. And then of course I'm going to need my my API key. So as you can see, I'm fairly organized with my stuff, and I think you guys should be too. So what I'm going to do is go to my plugin that installed already. I think it should have. You can see WP Fresh Start. So here it is up top, and I'm just going to have to activate that with my key. Go ahead and activate, and once it's activated, what this plugin does is you just do all your setups here for how you want your WordPress site to be set up. So I want to delete all the posts, I want to delete all the pages, I want to delete all the comments. If I wanted an About Me page, I could click that. I could create a privacy policy page, a terms of use page. We know those are super helpful. We can create a contact us page, or you can use like a plugin. I use Contact Form 7. I want to set my permalinks to the right setting for good SEO. I don't want to allow any comments, and I also want to stop comment notifications. If I wanted to create categories, I could, or new blank pages, I could. And then the nice thing right here is installing multiple plugins at once. So what I did is I actually went and downloaded all the plugins that I use to set up a WordPress blog, and I stored them on a local site of mine. And so that all I'd have to do is create the file that links to all those plugins. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And you can see I have a rank and rent plugins list. So these are all the plugins that I like to use, and I will also create a file for you guys if you want. And that's it. So then I just go ahead and I click start, and you can see done's are popping up, and then the plugin one doesn't show done. It takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to just click on my plugins folder, and you can see now that it has all the plugins that I like to use. So the first thing I like to do, obviously, is update all the plugins, make sure everything on the WordPress site is up to date. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it's going to go through and update everything for me. And then I'm going to go back to my plugins folder and get rid of the stuff that I don't want. So like I know Hello Dolly is just a stupid plugin. I don't want the HostGator plugin. I also don't want the Mojo Marketplace. So those are deactivated. Once they're deactivated, I can go to my inactive plugins, and then I just delete those. So just cleaning everything up really nice. So I'm going to delete those files, and you can see there we go. And then I'm going to actually go to my updates on my dashboard and make sure that my WordPress is updated as well. So there you go. I have the latest version of WordPress updated. And then I can even go to my appearance and my themes. Themes is something, I mean, you can build a site without a theme right away. You can build it and rank it, and then once it's, you know, ranking, you can put on a different theme. Sometimes I like to start with the theme that I like to use as well. But what I'm going to do is actually just get rid of the themes that I'm not going to use, just to save space on my server. So I'm going to just delete that. So there goes 2014, and I'm actually going to delete 2013 as well. So we're going to build our site just based on the 2015 theme. So there you can see, if I go back to my updates on my dashboard, I have everything except for one. I have one more update. I can do an update to my theme. And once that is updated, everything is now up to date. And then if you go into, you can go to the post folder, and you'll see that all the posts are deleted. I can go to my pages. You'll see all the pages are deleted, except for the ones that the plugin created for me, my terms of use and my privacy policy. And then I'll go to my plugins, and you can see I'm using Ask Emmet. So this is comment spam moderation, my contact form, Jetpack, sometimes I use for certain things. Stat Counter I actually use to track stats on my site. Stat Counter is a free service. And then WP Fresh Start was the plugin that I used to set this up really, really quickly. So my blog's already set up, so now I'm just going to get rid of the WP Fresh Start plugin. And then there is one more plugin that I want to install, and that is going to be Project Supremacy, because that is where we are going to do all the magic of building the site. So I'm going to go over to projectsupremacy.com, and I'm going to log into my members area so I can download the plugin. And I'm going to use one of my accounts. This guy. And then I'm going to go to my plugin download and activation code. So I can download the plugin, and I'll just save Project Supremacy version 2 on my desktop. And then I can go back here, and I'm going to add a new plugin. And we're going to upload the newest version of Project Supremacy, which is on my desktop. And we're looking for that. So here it is. We're going to go ahead and install that and activate it. And then, of course, I do have to now activate my license. So I'm just going to grab my username and password, or my email address and activation code rather, and copy that and click on activate. And there you can see that there is my new version 2 installed and ready to go. If you guys install the plugin and you don't see this kind of basically formatting, like maybe you might have the tabs running along the top, just go ahead and click on refresh, and it'll kind of refresh the plugin code, and it'll get you the proper page formatting and stuff like that. As well as, I know this was a bug in one of the versions, and I do believe it's fixed. If you see the affiliate conditions $4.99 and 1,000 up in the local, and the affiliate's actually blank, all you can do is just click set back to default, and it'll fix that for you. But I do believe that error is already fixed, so if you don't see that, you're good to go. So the next thing we're going to do is set up the proper API keys in Project Supremacy so that we can start doing our keyword research. Definitely one of the ones I'm going to use is my I need articles API. So I have all my API keys that I use stored in a nice handy document. So I'm going to install that key, and it says okay. Now I'm going to do my anti-captcha, because this is what we use to make sure we're pulling all the correct data from Google, and when they throw captchas at us, this thing will solve them for you. And I'm going to enable that as well. I like anti-captcha. 2CAPTCHA works just as well, but I found it easier to deposit money into anti-captcha, so that's the only reason I use that. But I do have an API for both. So I'm not going to enable both. I'm going to enable the one that I want to use. Okay, and then of course Pixabay as well, because I do want to geotag my images, so I'm going to put in my data for them. And my API key for them. So that's all saved. And then if you were building like an affiliate site, you could go ahead and add your market health APIs, your Amazon APIs. ClickBank doesn't need an API, but Pixabay, I need articles, and the 2CAPTCHA plugins are the ones that you really need for locals, rank and rents, or lead gen sites, just because Pixabay is going to help you geotag images. I need articles allows you to order really good content from I need articles from right inside your blog, and then the CAPTCHA ones are going to help you do your data analysis and your competition analysis and make sure that you're pulling really good numbers. So once you have that stuff set up and you have your API keys all set up, you are now ready to start doing your project and website planning, and I'm going to shoot a new video for that right away. All right, see you in that video. Hey, it's Herc here, and just shooting this video to show you how I do my quick setups for my basic rank and rent or lead gen websites. So I usually use GoDaddy for hosting, maximum 3 sites to a GoDaddy account before I'll buy another one. And so I got this domain installed as a subdomain on a parent HostDaddy account, and then WordPress installed. So the WordPress you see here is actually a super clean installation, and I just logged into it. So I'm going to go through my setup procedure now. So first thing I'm going to do is install a plugin that's going to actually do all the tedious work for me, and that is called WP Fresh Start. And once I found this plugin, I absolutely fell in love with it because it sped up my process by quite a bit. So I'm just going to grab the plugin right here, WP Fresh Start, and I'll install that and activate it. And one thing I can do actually is get rid of any plugins I don't want right now. These are all fine. I don't want the HostGator or the Mojo, but Jetpack's a pretty good plugin, so I'll just deactivate those right now quickly, and then also delete them and take up space. As for the other ones though, I can use all of these. So I'll go up to the WP Fresh Start, and I'm just going to have to give them my code, my activation key, and once it's activated, I want it to delete all the posts, all the pages, all the comments. I'll have it create an About Me page. No, I won't do that one yet. I'll definitely do a privacy page, and I'll do a Contact Us page. Set my permalinks properly. I'll stop any new comments, notifications via email, and also stop moderating comment notifications via email. I just don't want the extra email coming in. If I was building a bigger site, I could create categories right here or create new blank pages, but I don't do that. I use Project Supremacy. And then I want to install multiple plugins all at once, and I have a list. So all I do is download the plugins to my root folder, put them on an FTP file somewhere, and then give a list to them. So I'm going to just do my rank and rent list of plugins, and then click on start, and you'll see it'll do all these tasks that I used to do manually. It does them all really quickly for me. And the plugins one, kind of this WP Fresh Start plugin, the only bug it has is it doesn't really tell you when the plugins are installed. It just kind of stalls out. So what I do is I just open plugins in a new page just to see if things get installed, so that this is still running in the background over there. And as you can see, everything is in. So I added contact form, official stat counter, my own Project Supremacy plugin, and Yoast SEO, and that's it. Those are all the plugins that I need. So the next thing I want to do is make sure everything's updated. So I'm going to take all the plugins that need an update and do that. Awesome. And then Project Supremacy, I'm going to need to give that a license. So I'm going to log into my Project Supremacy account. And you can grab one of these if you want. This is a free plugin, so feel free to go sign up for Project Supremacy to get your own key so that you can use this on your sites. But I use Project Supremacy as my planning tool on literally every single site. So I'm just going to go to members and plugin download and activation code. So I already have the plugin downloaded. It was WP Fresh Start that installed it for me, but I'm just going to activate it now. And activate that. And then I'm going to set up my first project, which is going to be Pool Resurfacing Phoenix. And I'll just add my project, and there it is, a blank template. So when I do eventually start the keyword research and I want to build out maybe more than one page, like for Pool Resurfacing Phoenix, I might have a resurfacing page, a cleaning page, a repair page, a maintenance page, who knows. I haven't really done all my keyword research yet completely, so Project Supremacy is just there for that being set up. And that is pretty much it. That is the install. I'm already done and ready to go now. So all I need to do is do my keyword research, fill this in, build the site, add the content, and it is ready to go. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a Facebook message, Herc Magnus on Facebook, or send me an email. Talk to you soon.